Brother Lu, we've got a problem.
Sunke Hesian mega deal was transferred over to the East China region by Paizhong first thing this morning.
How? Through what channel?
He went straight through his personal connections. Didn't even go through the system. I'm going to corner him in the meeting room. He's in there having a budget meeting. It's not a good time for you to go in right now.
I'll wait. That Sunke deal.
There's something wrong with the data.
The way it was signed is way too suspicious.
Give me an explanation about the Sunke contract. It was all for the company's benefit. Do I really need to explain myself to you? You signed this kind of contract with them? Next year's maintenance renewal fee will be astronomical. Here's the audit report for Zunke's similar contract last year, and the quote East China gave them. I got both from the client myself. I've already renegotiated with Sunke's procurement director. They agreed to sign directly with us based on the original proposal, bypassing the director to negotiate with a client.
And going over my head? Lu Zheng.
You think you're pretty clever, don't you? I'm redistributing this quarter's client pool. The 7 key accounts in your hands are being transferred to the East China region. Deal with it. But as for the Zunke contract, it's already signed. We've completely burned our bridges, Youngli. Help me verify the maintenance clauses.
Feng Yu.
Get ready to contact the backup clients in the Central China region.
He'll definitely retaliate.
Let him try. I'm only worried he won't make a move. My back-end client access has been completely frozen. I can't even log into the CRM. Manchu. Pichun just sent out an all-staff email. System upgrade.
Batch migration of client data.
But they had only locked your team's accounts.
Batch migration?
And they're only migrating mine and Fine Use? It's an automated system sequence. I don't interfere with it.
It's just a technical issue.
Hey, Jun, you're cutting off my client resources because you're terrified my sales will be too high. Watch your attitude. As it happens, I'm here to inform you that the sales department is establishing a strategic accounts task force starting today, and you are appointed as the team leader. Well, that sounds like a promotion. Your job is to write postmortem reports on all our failed projects over the years. It's a very important job. I will personally handle your clients from now on. Reviewing failed projects? Fine by me. I expected you to say no.
Lu, have you lost your mind?
Reviewing failed projects. They are basically trying to exile us. Do you really think I've admitted defeat? Last year, our company lost a total of 37 deals. 37 failed cases mean 37 clients who once trusted us. Take Mr. Chen from Shuke Tech. He almost walked away last year, all because the former sales director botched it.
Feng Yu, do you still remember the details?
Yes. Back then, the client demanded to change the project manager. But old Zhao stubbornly refused to budge. Things got incredibly tense in the end. Old Zhao is gone now, but the client is still out there. This is our ammunition depot. The one you helped me deal with today was Pei Chun. You knew it would cause trouble. I did. I just hate seeing data weaponized against people. No one has set foot in this place for at least 3 years.
Feng Yu, look at this. The Hanchang Group project we lost 2 years ago. How much was the contract worth?
28 million? That's huge. And the reason we lost the bid is listed as pricing disadvantage. Right here, the promised after-sales response time was 48 hours. But our competitors promised 24 hours.
That's double the time.
I can't believe old Zhao actually agreed to those terms. No wonder the client refused to sign. That was Pei Jun's doing, not old Zhao's. The head of after-sales back then refused to allocate enough staff. You're actually digging through old trash? Find anything useful?
Mr. Pei's decisions in the after-sales department back then were truly visionary.
Cutting costs so aggressively that he killed a major client's deal. Most people wouldn't dare to be that reckless. The Hanxing Group case was a collective decision made by the company. Are you trying to dig up the past? We're not digging it up. We're rebuilding. Hanxing Group replaced their procurement director last year. The first thing the new director did upon taking office was to completely overhaul their supplier list. And they're looking for new partners again. What do you mean? Hanxing Group put out a new tender announcement last week. It wasn't posted publicly. It's an invite-only bid. How did you know I was tracking industry trends? I set up keyword alerts. And we're not on the invite list. Then we'll get ourselves added.
You don't have an appointment.
Without authorization, what are you even going to say to them? Tell them about the mistake we made back then. Own up to it. And offer a new solution. In what capacity?
You don't even have client-facing authority right now.
As the Strategic Accounts Task Force leader, my job is to review failed cases and consult the clients face-to-face. That's the job description you gave me. Zhengli, you're in marketing, not sales. My job is to provide market intelligence to our business units. Only certain departments. I'm sorry, but the purchasing department has no record of any appointment. We won't be able to arrange a meeting today. Lu, just call the new director directly. No, cold calls can easily backfire. Hello, Mr. Luo.
I'm Lu Zheng from Rufeng Tech.
Wu Fen.
I don't think we work together anymore. We did make a mistake 2 years ago, yes. That's why I'm here today. To apologize in person. An apology, you say? 2 years ago, on the Hansen project, we promised an after-sales response window we couldn't keep. It was a mistake made by my predecessors. But Rufeng still owes you a formal apology. Well, you're an interesting one. Most salespeople walk in and immediately start bragging about how great their product is. This is our newly revised after-sales proposal. It's tailored to your company's current procurement scale. We've guaranteed a 24-hour response time with a dedicated team assigned to you. You know, we're currently accepting bids. I know. And I also know Rufeng wasn't on the invite-only list you sent out last week. So you're here to beg for an invitation? No. I'm here to make sure you remember my name.
The next time you're looking for a supplier,
Please, think of Rufeng. Well, look who actually has the nerve to come apologize. The selective bidding list isn't finalized yet. Huh? I got a shot. Mr. Luo accepted the documents. Accepting the files doesn't mean we've won, but Hansheng just updated the invitation list on their bidding portal. They've added 3 more companies, and Rufeng is one of them. Notify legal to investigate everything Lu Zheng did at Hansheng today. That includes checking if any documents he took out might have leaked company secrets. Mr. Lu, you used internal company data in the after-sales proposal you pitched to Hansheng Group. That was all public information from Hansheng's own bidding documents. I only used the client's own data. Even if the data is compliant, bypassing your direct supervisor to deal with the client directly crosses a major company red line. But Mr. Pei, you are my direct supervisor, reviewing the failed cases and researching our past contacts. You personally assigned me this client. But that doesn't matter. What matters is that Hansheng's formal bidding invitation has arrived. The deadline is next Wednesday. I'll need full access to the company archives to prepare our proposal. And what if I say no? Then you'd be openly sabotaging a multi-million-dollar project for the company. Can you afford to take the blame for that? Of course I support you, but I'm choosing the bidding team. Fine, but I must be the lead presenter. Zhao Yu was the after-sales contact, back when we handled the Hansheng project. He was later transferred to the East China division. Piju just transferred him back to join the bidding team. He was right in the middle of the Hansheng project back then. Who's a friend and who's a snake? We'll find out next Wednesday. I worked in East China for 2 years. So, I have a pretty good understanding of Hansheng's procurement system. I'll handle the technical proposal this time.
Brother Zhao, you lived through the Hansheng project.
Do you have any advice? What Hansheng cares about most isn't the price. It's the long-term reliability of the supplier. Last time, our slow after-sales response was our fatal flaw. This time, let's proactively add 3 spare parts warehouses. It won't add much to the cost, but it will significantly boost our score. Actually makes a pretty good point. Let's hear the rest first. Mr. Luo, Hansheng's VP of Procurement, has incredibly deep ties with distributors in East China. If we go with a joint bid with the distributors, our chances of winning will be way higher. Which distributor? Xingma Training. They're a former partner of Director Pei.
Zhao's suggestion is great.
But as for the joint bid, I'll need to think it over. Of course, but from what I've heard, Hansheng actually prefers having distributors involved in the bidding process. Right. I'll get started on the technical proposal first. Keep me posted on any updates. Lu, I looked into Shengham Trading. Before Pei Jun jumped ship to Rufeng, he actually worked there as a consultant. Isn't this a clear trap? Whether it's a trap or not, let's put that aside for now. The East China distributors, Yao Yi mentioned, do have a track record of working together. But the data doesn't prove if they're deeply tied, or if it's just standard business. A mix of truth and lies is always the hardest to deal with. Interesting. There's only an 11-day gap between Jiaji resigning from East China and Pei Jun taking over at Rufeng. This is a move Pei Jun set up in advance. Though, maybe it's not a setup, but Zhao Yi is definitely Pei Jun's man. As for the suggestions Zhao Yi made today, are you going to reject them completely? I'll use his framework. But I'll fill it with my own content. If he leaves a gap, I'll build a bridge right over it. The bidding is next Wednesday. Before that, I need to dig up everything on Pei Jun. I found it. The corporate registration records for Shengheng Trading. The actual owner 3 years ago was Pei Jun's brother-in-law. 1 month before Pei Jun joined Rufeng, his brother-in-law withdrew but kept silent shares. The payout ratio doesn't matter. What matters is that Pei Jun wants to turn Lufen's sales into profits for his own family. Using Shengham as a distributor, plus a joint bid, means Pei Jun gets to double dip. Once they secure the Hansheng contract, Rufeng provides the products and solutions. And Pei Tu secures his position as director. But if we refuse, Zhao Yi will claim that Lu Zheng is acting completely on his own, and Pei Tu will have an excuse to replace the lead presenter for the bid. This trap is set, but we can outsmart it. Fang Yu, go look up all of Shen King's winning bids over the last 3 years, especially projects involving state-owned enterprises and large private companies. What are we looking for? Check if they've ever breached any contracts. I'm running a background check at the same time. We should have the results by next Monday. Oh, wait. I've got them right here. Samking delayed delivery on the Sichuan industrial project last year, and 15% of their security deposit was docked. What I have here is even worse. Hongchuang Technology, the company they represent, was sued over an after-sales dispute 2 years ago. The charge was passing off substandard products as premium quality. These 2 documents are enough to expose them publicly at the digital bidding meeting. Working so hard? Overtime on the weekend too? Mr. Pei is doing the same. I'm just here to grab a document. How is the bid proposal coming along? No concerns at all. Zhao's advice was very professional. About the joint bid, we are evaluating the agency. Shenheng Trading is the best agent in East China. I worked with them when I was in East China. Would you like me to get you in touch with them? Is it compliant for Mr. Pei to recommend a supplier? A normal business introduction is completely compliant, of course. If you feel it's inappropriate, I can stay out of it. By the way, besides you, for next Wednesday's digital bidding, the company's vice president will also be attending. Prepare well. Which vice president? Vice President Yan. He's in charge of HR and administration. He also started out in sales, so he has plenty of vetting experience. I've reviewed your bid proposal. The overall framework looks fine. But why did you bring Shenheng in for the joint bidding part? Manager Zhao suggested it to build more trust with Hansheng. But personally, I actually don't recommend using Shenheng. My reason? Shenheng delayed delivery on the Sichuan industrial project last year, which affected their supplier rating. And they still have unresolved disputes to this day. Where did you get this information? Public sources, corporate credit search platforms, and legal judgment databases. It's all publicly available. Did Mr. Pei say he worked with Shenheng before? You should have been well aware of these issues. By cutting out the agency costs, the total bid can be lowered by 5%. I'll already revise both the technical and business bid proposals overnight. The new version was sent to everyone's inbox at 6 this morning. Mr. Yan, Lu Zheng's analysis actually makes a lot of sense. But switching to an agency model means we'll have to throw out the current proposal and rewrite it from scratch. And the timeline is incredibly tight. Now that the plan is set, you have my full support. What a beautiful counterattack. But what about the pricing structure in the proposal? Are you absolutely sure the numbers add up? Thank you for your concern, Mr. Pei. Every single cost has been meticulously calculated.
Brother Lu, that was so satisfying.
You should have seen the look on Zhao Yi's face. But don't celebrate too early. Mr. Pei's last words. Something felt off about them. He's hiding something in the pricing. Check the structure again. Go over the cost calculations for every single level again. I want answers before tonight.
Got it. But we didn't find anything unusual in the pricing structure. Every single item matches up.
The problem isn't in the numbers. It's in the pricing strategy itself.
Zhang Yi, pull out Shenken's agency model pricing template for a comparison. Look here. The project management fee from the agency model was deleted from our direct bidding proposal.
The project management fee accounts for 2% of the total bid. In theory, direct bidding shouldn't require this fee. But in Hansheng's bidding document, the project management fee is a mandatory field. That's a classic hidden clause. Hidden in item 6 of the appendix on page 31.
If this item is left blank, the bid will be disqualified.
Zhao Yi's pricing template completely omitted this item.
He did it on purpose. Think.
I'm going to confront him right now. Don't rush. Confronting him now will only tip him off and achieve nothing. First, let's look at the timeline. How many days do we have left before the official bid?
Next Monday. We still have 4 days. 4 days is plenty.
What are the calculation standards for the project management fee? According to the bidding specifications,
The project management fee must be between 2.5 and 5% of the total bid.
we need to provide a special commitment letter and recalculate the pricing. At the same time, check how much Shenheng has charged for project management fees in the past. Understood. Found it. Sinking's project management fee, submitted to Sichuan last year, was 3.2%. That's way over the limit. But I compared it with the other bidders, and the industry average is around 2%. Plus, they have a history of sneakily overcharging. Archive all this evidence.
Use this as backup material for the bid presentation.
Lu Zheng,
Have you ever considered something? Why did Pei Jun plant Zhao Yi here as a mole? If it was just to help Shenheng win the bid,
Thinking up a scheme like this is way too costly.
could he have another motive?
You're right.
For Pei Jun, the kickback from Shangheng on the Sancheng project isn't his only goal.
What he really wants is a sales department that is completely loyal to him. So, if the project succeeds, all the credit goes to him. At next Monday's presentation, who will actually stand at the podium?
Mr. An, esteemed judges, today is the official bid presentation.
But before we begin, given the project's importance, I suggest that I serve as the lead presenter. and Lu Zheng will handle the technical defense. As for the strategic plans previously arranged, it would be more appropriate for a director to present them. If Mr. Pei insists on leading the pitch, that's fine.
But the core strategy of this bid, the project pricing, and the risk mitigation plans, are you actually familiar with every single detail?
Of course. I'm the director. I've personally reviewed all the materials. The project management fee shouldn't be in the direct bidding section. On page 31, item 6 of the bidding documents appendix, the project management fee is a mandatory field.
Mr. Pei, it seems you must have missed it when you reviewed it.
It was an oversight on my part.
But this also shows that Lu Zheng's bid proposal wasn't prepared thoroughly enough.
Why wasn't a standard clause like the project management fee clearly highlighted? There's a dedicated page addressing this issue in part 4 of the commercial bid.
Enough. Liu Jiang.
You are the lead presenter. You may begin now. 2 years ago, Rufeng lost the bid for the Hansheng project. We conducted a detailed internal review of the reasons.
3 areas, including after-sales response time, failed to meet the standards.
Excellent presentation.
Rufeng needs to win this Hansheng project.
Thank you, Mr. Yan.
Brother Lu, have you checked the OA system yet?
Jun sent out a new announcement about the organizational restructuring in the early hours of the morning.
The email was sent at 3 in the morning. He pulled off this move overnight, right after the presentation ended, and Vice President Yan already approved it. The document even has Vice President Yan's electronic signature attached. But I checked the back-end approvals, and it shows Liu Changcheng used an authorized access. It wasn't actually Deputy GM Yan himself who operated it. This is a clear abuse of authority. Not before you come in, Team Leader La.
The authorization to use Deputy GM Yan's electronic seal? The electronic seal? The Hansen project bidding just wrapped up.
We need to finalize the roles and push this forward as soon as possible. Did you clear this with Deputy GM Yan? At 8 this morning, Deputy GM Yan has already confirmed the organizational restructuring in writing. You can check the records yourself. It was done this morning. But you sent the email last night. President Pei acted first and got approval later. Efficient gives first. President Pei, you just said the archives team will be organizing all past project files? Yes, including everything from the past 3 years. Sales contracts, agency agreements, and business records of senior executives.
Executive business records don't fall under project archives.
Understood. What do you mean I'm being reassigned to archives? Isn't that completely sidelining me? He said the archives team can access all past project files, including all agency agreements, including Xinheng. Think, no matter how deep some things are buried, there's always a record. For the East China region alone, there are 170 agency agreements from the past 3 years. How are we ever going to find it in all that? Found it. The Shenheng Trading Agency Agreement, signed 2 years ago. The agency territory covers the entire East China region. But Xinheng's registered address and actual business are both at our headquarters.
Signing for the entire East China region and raising the rate to 5.5%. What does that extra 2.5% mean?
Based on the average annual performance of the East China region, that's at least 300,000 more in annual rebates. 300,000 going straight into their own pockets. And when this agreement was signed, Dun wasn't even with Rufeng yet.
He was at Xinheng at the time, which means
he negotiated this agreement with himself.
it's an incredibly one-sided contract.
We have to pay damages just to switch agencies. More importantly, this agreement is valid for 3 years, and it still has 1 year left before it expires.
Which means
If we terminate our contract with Shenheng right now, Rufeng will have to pay a whole year's worth of expected rebates as compensation.
Lu, this alone won't be enough, will it?
When the agreement was signed, Pei Jun wasn't even working at Rufeng. He can easily plead ignorance and claim he knew nothing about it. That's why we need one more thing. When Pei Jun joined the company last March, there was a third agreement, which expanded the scope of our agency's product categories. This made the rebate base even larger. When you add both agreements together,
Shenking has pocketed a total of 700,000 in rebates from Rufeng.
and it looks completely legal and compliant. A perfect transfer of interest where every single procedure was followed. Every signature is right there. A brilliant setup. But is this evidence enough to launch an internal investigation? No, it's not. The signatures are all there, and process is perfectly compliant. At worst, they'll just say it was a bad judgment call on his part.
But there's one thing he can't hide. On the conflict of interest disclosure form he filled out when he joined,
He failed to declare his connection to Shenheng. Deceiving the company like this is a severe violation of the employee handbook. So you want to pull up the conflict of interest form Pei Jun signed when he was hired? The records management team is responsible for verifying compliance files for senior executives. This falls directly under my department. But conflict of interest forms are classified as confidential HR records. Then, let's go through the official approval process. I'll submit the request right now.
no chap. Let me remind you, even if this gets approved,
If there's nothing incriminating on that form, making such a massive move right now could backfire on you. I am simply requesting compliance files that fall strictly within the records management team's jurisdiction. I can only grant you permission to view the file. You cannot make copies or take anything out of this room. That's more than enough. Peichun's onboarding files are all here. The conflict of interest form was filled out on his very first day. It has his official signature and stamp right here. You can review it right here in front of me, but no photos. Understood. Manager Chen, take a look at this section, please. The actual controlling shareholder of Shangheng Trading used to be Peichun's brother-in-law, even though they changed the business registration right before Peichun was hired. The dividend records prove that he still benefits from it. Marking none in this section is a flat-out lie. I had no idea. I really didn't know. Did you get what you needed? His disclosure form clearly states no affiliation. He obviously thought no one would ever look into it. He spent the last 2 years cementing his position at Rufeng. His HR files have been gathering dust for ages. The real question now is whether we should go through VP Yan to launch a formal investigation. Let me ask you this. First, what is the total value of the agency contracts Peichun has signed since he joined 2 years ago? It is estimated to be roughly over 60 million. If that 20 million in kickbacks went entirely to his affiliates, then we're talking about embezzlement. This isn't just a policy violation.
It's a crime. Are you saying Peichun made false statements on his conflict of interest disclosure?
When he joined, he claimed to have no financial ties to any of the distributors.
But he is actually the ultimate controller of Shangheng Trading, and he's been pocketing dividends this whole time.
Here are copies of the 2 agency agreements and the business registration records. You just won the bidding war against Peichun, and now you come straight to me for a confrontation? Lu Zheng, do you have any idea what this looks like? Looks like a personal vendetta. If I were Peichun, I'd say this is nothing but revenge for being reassigned. Every single piece of your evidence will be questioned for its motives. I won't sweep this under the rug just because of that. I'll have HR and legal launch a preliminary review.
But during the investigation, you must not make a single move.
No matter what the outcome is, you'll still be blamed for disrupting the company's order. I promise.
So, did the investigation start?
Yes, but VP Yam warned me that everyone will see this whistleblowing as a personal vendetta between me and Peichun, if they frame it that way. That's why I need someone with zero conflict of interest to present third-party evidence to the review committee.
Are you asking me? You have all of Shangheng's data in your hands, and from start to finish, you have absolutely no personal motive.
If I step forward,
Peichun will know I've been on your side all along.
That's why I'm not forcing you. The choice is yours. The marketing department's job is to provide intelligence for the business.
Nothing more, nothing less.
Mr. Peichu,
This compliance review is addressing 2 specific allegations against you. I will cooperate fully. But may I ask where these 2 allegations originated?
the source is fully compliant.
Please answer the first question directly regarding the non-affiliation on your disclosure form. When I first joined the company,
The legal representative and actual controller of Shangheng Trading had already changed to non-affiliated parties.
my brother-in-law no longer held any shares once the change was finalized. These are the official registration documents. Those were simply the legitimate returns from a past investment.
Right, I understand.
The timeline definitely matches up. You cut all ties with the related parties just 1 day before you started, which only proves how seriously I take Rufeng. To avoid any conflict of interest, I cleaned up all potential compliance risks before my first day.
What about the contract with Shangheng Trading? The supplementary agreement you approved after starting expanded their agency.
Scope. Was that just a way to funnel benefits to them? They are our best agent. Their performance ranks in the top 3 of the region. Expanding their scope was a standard business decision based on solid performance data.
The marketing department provided that data. Specifically, Zhang Li.
Everyone knows he's the most meticulous analyst we have. We can have him verify it right here, right now. But President Pei only cherry-picked a small part of it. The complete data tells a different story.
Shang's performance curve is a complete roller coaster.
It didn't just go straight up. I've already uploaded it to the audit committee's shared folder,
Tranking's full performance data from the last 2 years.
their customer complaint rates, and late delivery records. It's all in there. Think very carefully about this. I know exactly what I'm doing. Data shouldn't be weaponized. I underestimated you. I didn't realize an archivist had access to so much information. It's not that I found something unexpected. It's that you left something behind. Overlooked? And what exactly do you think I overlooked?
Brother Lu, everyone's saying that the review committee is leaning toward finding no violations in President Pei's disclosure forms.
He timed everything perfectly to the day before he joined. The business registration changes are there in black and white. Legally, there's absolutely no loophole. But I need to prove beyond a doubt that President Pei took a cut. The timing of cutting those ties is just too perfect. What about the dividends then? Even if the registration was changed, the dividends are cold, hard cash. He submitted a new document today, the share transfer agreement from before the change. There's a clause stating that the transfer payment is to be paid in installments and deducted from Shengheng's future profits. He's spinning the dividends as the final installment of the share transfer, and it's all completely backed by the law. This layout is too airtight. We had to find a breakthrough. and fast.
Leader Lu, looking at it from your perspective,
I'm already your enemy, but there's something I need to tell you. Have started preparing for this compliance audit at least half a year before you did.
Ever since the day you brought back Han Sheng's bid,
He knew you would investigate Shenking.
There's one thing you can't figure out. He knew Shengheng had loopholes, so why isn't he afraid? Because he already patched those loopholes, right? He kept every potentially illegal move just under the line of a simple violation. At worst, he'd never have to face criminal charges. I'm just a pawn to him too. He didn't transfer me back because he trusted me. It's because I have a stain on my record from the Hansheng project.
back then, when the after-sales support failed, I was the one directly responsible.
He used that leverage to control me. You just said he kept everything under the line of a violation.
But there's one thing he can't control. He can't control Shenking itself.
What if Refeng terminates the contract because of Shengheng's own issues?
like if the client explicitly refuses to let Shengheng participate in the project?
Are you saying Shengheng's breach of contract on the Sichuan project last year matches the negative list criteria in the bidding documents?
教义，误不是你。
I can overlook your past mistakes. Give me one night to think about it. Forging delivery receipts. This is commercial fraud, involving 4 projects within 3 years. 2. If these documents are real, this is a completely different ballgame. Then what are we waiting for? Let's hand these straight over to the review committee. The review committee only cares about whether Pei violated any rules.
They won't care about Shengheng.
Then what should we do? Luo said.
They care about the long-term stability of their suppliers the most.
If he finds out that Rufeng's partner agency has committed forgery. Wait, we don't have a direct line to Hansheng anymore. That's why we need to find a channel that won't be blocked by Pei.
There's a public email address on Hansheng's bidding announcement.
But it would be easy to trace the source this way. Do you know the receptionist at Hansheng? I added her on WeChat last time.
Brother Lu, you're not planning to.
We just need to let Luwa know that Shengheng Trade has multiple contract breaches in East China,
Including the forged delivery receipts. As for how he verifies them, that's his business. Lot of chance.
The source of these materials is completely public.
Court rulings and industry reports. All I did was organize public information. Lu, I've always thought you played too much by the book.
This time, you finally learned to use other tricks.
I didn't need to before. But President Pei loves to exploit loopholes. Exactly. Besides, I'm just making sure the right information reaches the right person at the right time. You received the files? I did. And I didn't keep a backup. From now on, the source of these materials has absolutely nothing to do with me.
Understood. Hansheng's bid.
Mr. Pei wants the final draft submitted before 3 p.m.
You don't have much time left.
Hansheng's supply chain security is our top priority.
Therefore, we recommend bringing in Shengheng Trade, the strongest distributor in East China, as a joint bidder. No news yet.
Shengheng Trade has the most comprehensive distribution network in East China.
They've served major clients, including Sinyuan Industrial and Hanchoa Technology. Sorry to interrupt. Regarding Sinyuan Industrial,
We've learned that Shengheng has a history of delayed deliveries on that project.
could you explain the details? The delayed delivery is indeed a fact, but it was because the client changed their specifications at the last minute.
Shenking, as the agent, actively cooperated to complete all the adjustments. It involved a rather severe penalty for breach of contract.
Where did you get this information? It was me, Mr. Luo. There might be a misunderstanding regarding this information.
Mr. Pei, Hansheng only looks at the capability to deliver on specific projects.
If Rufeng insists on bidding jointly with Shenking,
Hansheng will have no choice but to exclude Rufeng from this bidding process. You handed these files to Hansheng? They're public information. I was just doing my job, managing the archives. Compiling public information is part of my job description. It has been from the very beginning. If that's how it's going to be, don't blame me for leaving you with no way out. Call an all-hands meeting for the sales department today. We need to outline our key tasks for the quarter. Also, the Strategic Accounts Archive Management Team has completed its mission. Effective today, this position is officially eliminated.
Lu Zheng, you're being transferred to the East China branch to clean up all their leftover messes. After all, aren't you supposed to be the expert at handling failures? You're the one taking the fall for the Shengheng disaster.
This is blatant retaliation.
they're making you handle the Shengheng contract termination. But in Shengheng's contract, there's... Wait. He's right.
No one else can take the blame for this, but me. But the person taking the fall gets to choose how they carry it.
Lu Zheng, the final presentation is set for next Wednesday.
I'll be blunt. The evaluation committee still has doubts about your last direct bidding proposal.
If you can't present the final bid yourself, this project will most likely fall through.
I'll be there, Mr. Luo.
The final review for Hansheng is set for Wednesday. We only have 2 days left.
Kijun, you go first. Talk us through the final proposal. The final evaluation committee is more focused on supply chain security.
long-term stability, and fallback capabilities. Always the same old story. Mr. Lu, I don't want to hear any of that. It's painfully average.
Lu Zheng.
Do you have anything to add? I need 10 minutes for a separate presentation. It's not in this PPT.
During the last two pitch meetings, Hanshin's Mr. Luo repeatedly emphasized that he cares most about the supplier's long-term stability.
I suggest we present our work with Hanshin over the past 2 years as a case study. So, what's your proposal?
You want to bring up the Shengheng issue?
Shenking was a compliance risk that Ru Feng actively uncovered on our own initiative.
This proves Ru Feng's ability to self-correct. Keep going.
We lost Han Chil's contract 2 years ago.
But the fact that we dare to put this failed case on the table, that's more convincing than anything else. Even if your logic holds up, where are you going to get those 10 minutes? Every single part of my final proposal is critical. It can't be cut. We'll squeeze it out of your presentation. You've been studying my proposal? All materials for the final review go through my hands. You didn't forget that, did you, Mr. Pei?
The final proposal is settled then.
I want the two of you to work together.
Stop wasting energy on infighting.
Since it's Mr. Yan's decision, I'll cooperate fully. Lu Zheng, I'm giving you those 10 minutes. I hope your presentation is worth it. Why is he suddenly being so cooperative? Something is off.
If he uses Lu Zheng's pitch during the main technical bid,
he's trying to make me look like a broken record in front of the panel. But I can make sure he won't dare to bring it up.
I've already locked in 25 minutes for the main technical bid in the final round.
You'll cover the final 10 minutes. The order stays the same. We'll have a comprehensive end-to-end safety net in the main technical bid. I suggest we cut down our internal sections. The Hanshin panel has heard these kinds of promises a million times. What are you going to cover in your 10 minutes? I don't know yet. If you won't show me your slides, I can't match your pace. The postmortem on Shengheng's sudden exit. Just 3 pages of text, no PowerPoint.
Hansang just sent over the judge panel list for the final review.
5 judges in total. 2 of them are external experts. One specializes in public supply chain risk management. The other focuses on corporate compliance. And the compliance experts area is exactly what your 10 minutes can cover. But the panel will always care most about the supplier's scale and background, not stories. Shengheng isn't a story. It's hard evidence. Your 10 minutes won't change the final outcome. The main technical bid is what the judges will actually score us on. Then let's let our work speak for itself.
Pisun just pulled all of Shengheng's performance data.
He might be preparing a counterattack. Let him. The focus of the final review isn't on Shenheng anyway. It's about who can make the panel believe that Ru Feng is brave enough to turn the knife on itself. Remember, I have 25 minutes. You have 10 minutes. Don't go over. Same to you. Respected judges, before we begin, I want to admit something. 2 years ago, Ru Feng fell short on the handshell project. Our after-sales response, project management, and requirements matching. Those were our genuine failures. Since then, we've cut our after-sales response time from 48 hours down to 18. And we've introduced a 3-party sign-off system for project management. Our marketing department uses data modeling to drive demand matching. Next up is Lu Zheng with his supplementary statement. 10 minutes. Page 1 is the complete timeline of the Shenheng incident. Page 2 shows a comparison before and after the policy reform. And page 3 is our commitment to have all agents undergo third-party compliance audits over the next 3 years. This timeline claims that anonymous reports triggered the whistleblower protection mechanism. Can that really hold up under scrutiny? This timeline speaks for itself. From the initial report to the final termination, not a single whistleblower's identity was exposed, and there was 0 retaliation. Those 3 pages carry more weight than a 30-page PowerPoint deck. Those 3 pages. How long did you spend preparing them? Ever since the day you first shoved Shenheng into our bidding proposal. Our compliance expert went over your timeline 3 times. Your gamble paid off. It just so happened that there was a compliance specialist on the final review committee. I wasn't gambling. Corporate compliance is where the industry is heading. Sooner or later, every review committee will have a compliance expert.
Feng won the bid.
The contract is worth $68 million. The committee unanimously agreed that Ru Feng's data-driven bidding was highly professional. But what really sealed the deal was that you demonstrated a capacity to self-correct. That is incredibly rare in this industry. Thank you, Mr. Luo. You won. But I have one question. After everything you've done, what is it that you're actually after? I want to make sure that the next time I'm betrayed, the system will protect me.
I'm heading back to the office to discuss your new position.
Congratulations, Mr. Lu. We landed the Hansing deal? But my compliance assessment shows that 3 of Rufeng's other agents are suspected of related party transactions. Their combined volume is 3 times the size of Shengeng.
Since Hansheng won the bid,
The company has decided to restructure.
We're setting up a key account strategic business unit.
奴将我此儿子得知了，沟通这个类图统，裴鑫
You will continue to serve as sales director, but you will no longer oversee the East China region and key accounts.
I'd accept. Right. The agent system optimization project will be handed over to Director Lu.
You're the most familiar with this area. I'll take it, but I have one condition.
Transfer Lee to the key account department as the data analysis supervisor. 63 distributors have been approved in the system.
And one of them is called Hengfang International.
Their legal representative is Vice President Yan's former boss.
If you take on this project, you won't be able to avoid him. I know you handed over this project on purpose, just waiting for me to go after Hengfang Interna. Xingping's legal representative, Zhang Weishan. Before he retired, he was the vice president of sales at Witheng. During his tenure,
非整个康察岛一初步。
While their performance only grew by 15% during the same period, they inflated rebates to disguise kickbacks. How much are we talking about? Their accumulated rebates exceeded 10 million won over 3 years. But going after Hengfang will drag out Zhen Weixin's entire network in this company. Get the complete materials ready.
tomorrow I'll talk to Mr. Yan.
Pianfeng International.
It's time to rip this network apart. Do you know who Hengfang's legal representative is?
Again.
Your former boss. You worked together for over 10 years. He brought me into the industry.
He personally taught me, step by step, how to land my first client.
And now you're telling me he's leeching off Rufeng?
Mr. Yan, personal emotions and company interests shouldn't get in each other's way.
Going after Hengfang will drag down a whole chain of people.
军贵信赖我，可是并地便入队的那个汤品会同其越是。
I know, but ever since the Hanshin incident, the entire industry has been watching Rufeng.
If we turn a blind eye when we know there's a problem with Hengfang, those 3 pages of our bid will be a complete joke. I'm not asking to go directly after Hengfang. I want to add a financial audit clause to the new distributor contracts in East China. As a 3-month pilot. If you can find a distributor willing to accept this clause, I can approve the pilot. But Hengfang will definitely strike back. Hengfang can only strike back if they still control the distribution channels in East China.
What if I find a distributor that's even more qualified than Hengfang?
3 months. If the pilot succeeds, we'll extend it to all distributors. If it fails, the financial audit clause will be shelved for good. Thank you, Mr. An. But isn't Zheng Weishan retired? He has been in this business for 30 years. He has more tricks up his sleeve than you think. I know. That's why I'm not going to give him any time to react. There are 17 newly transferred agents in East China. 5 of them have business ties with Hengfang, and 2 are affiliates of Hengfang.
These 7 will definitely reject the full financial audit clause.
Aside from those 7, there are 10 others.
But those 10 are too small. They won't be enough to meet the pilot target.
There's a company in East China called Tongchang Trading. They're about 3/4 the size of Hengfang. They supplied for distributor status 3 times, and they were rejected by Peijian every single time. Customer satisfaction, delivery efficiency,
And after-sales response, Tongsheng beats Hengfang in every single metric.
Then what was Peijian's reason for rejecting them? He just wrote that they didn't meet the qualifications. All 3 rejection letters use the exact same excuse.
翻语
Prepare all the Tongqing's files.
江里都有感恩教界的代台康氏本，比缺韩方按同强。
Tomorrow I'm heading to Tongchang. No need to report this to President Yan first. Reporting it now would just take Paijian off and give him time to act. We'll report it once the contract is signed. If we skip the approval process this time, Paijian will definitely latch onto that and won't let it go.
The pilot authorization was personally approved by President Yan.
Once the contract is signed, everything will be compliant and transparent. With all the terms out in the open, what could he possibly hold against us? He used to be the one pulling strings in the dark, but now, the tables have turned. Trying to bypass me again? Let's see how far you can get this time. The financial audit clause is on page 4. Tomorrow, we'll see if Tongcheng actually has the guts to sign it.
裴兄，
From the new department of Yufan's Q Accounts Division.
Last time you rejected us, you wrote an entire page of excuses.
Now you're coming to us for cooperation. Is this his idea or yours?
It's my idea. And this time, we don't need Taizhan's approval.
Here's the comparison of the core performance metrics between Tongchang and Hengfeng. Hanfeng got the highest tier distributor contract.
Yet your data is superior to Hanfeng's in every single way. So your own data proves that I'm better than Hanfeng.
What do those 3 rejections mean?
Those 3 rejections were a mistake.
On one condition, you must accept the financial audit clause in the new contract.
Rufeng reserves the right to independently audit our agents every year.
In the agency business, the rule of the game is for the client to turn a blind eye.
You expect me to sign this?
It's basically asking me to give up the industry's default profit margins. That's why what I'm offering you is worth far more than the rules of the game.
Hanfeng has dominated East China for 10 years.
They always get first pick of the best projects.
Tongcheng is always left picking up the scraps.
Because the way in has been locked tight. What I'm giving you is not just a company willing to undergo independent audits. This is a level of credit endorsement that no other company in the industry can offer.
Tenko steals my clients,
Undercuts my quotes.
And digs up dirt on me.
I've put up with all of this for 10 years. Because I was powerless to fight back.
Give me the contract, Mr. Zheng.
About the Tongcheng situation.
I had no idea about it beforehand.
You had no idea?
You're the sales director.
And you didn't even know Tongcheng's contract was signed?
So, you're Lu Zheng.
That's me, Mr. Zheng.
Welcome to Rufeng.
You were the one who signed Tongcheng's contract.
Do you have any idea how much groundwork Hanfeng laid for Rufeng?
10 years ago, our sales in East China were practically zero. I personally won over every single client, one by one. Over the last 10 years, the 60 million in business Hufeng gave Hanfeng wasn't charity. It was a business transaction. If I make sure the clients Hanfeng represents don't renew their contracts with Rufeng,
how much can you actually win back?
you're talking about 11 clients with a total annual contract value of 34 million.
But have you looked at the other side of the ledger, Mr. Zheng?
Now that Tongcheng has signed the financial audit agreement,
What do you think the other agents in East China see?
They see the Rufeng's agency standards are no longer about connections.
it's about data. As for the 11 clients left behind if Hanfeng pulls out, there will be plenty of other companies like Tongcheng fighting to snatch them up. You won this round.
But don't think you've won the war.
I've been in this industry for 30 years. Some things just can't be settled by a contract.
I know.
But connections can't keep things swept under the rug forever.
Hanfeng's contract is expiring, and they're not renewing.
11 of their clients are refusing to transition. That's a total annual contract value of 34 million.
How do you plan to handle this?
I'm already handling it.
I've split those 11 clients into 3 groups.
2 are Hanfeng's exclusive clients.
Who we can't win back in the short term. 6 are price-sensitive clients, and the remaining 3 are project-based clients.
Hanfeng was only a middleman.
The client relationships are actually held by Rufeng.
And what about Peiyu's role in all of this?
What do you think? He was the one who brought Shenking to Hanfeng, and he was the one who protected Tongcheng.
He rejected the proposal 3 times. Regardless of whether he took kickbacks, at the very least, his judgment has been compromised. The performance gap left by Hanfeng's departure.
I'll give you 1 quarter to fill that gap. Can you do it? I won't even need a quarter.
Once the deal with Tongcheng is signed,
4 new distributors in East China have already reached out to us.
they've been waiting for the day Hanfeng's monopoly is broken.
Now that Hanfeng is out,
Who are you going after next? It's not about going after anyone.
it's about establishing a system.
Once the financial auditing process is fully implemented, every distributor will start on an equal playing field. Do you really think establishing a system can change everything?
A system can't change everything.
But it gives those who want to change a path forward. Our 3-month layout is starting to pay off.
The new distribution network is gradually taking shape.
After a 3-month trial assessment,
The East China financial auditing system is officially being rolled out company-wide. Lu Zheng has been promoted to executive director of the sales department, overseeing key accounts and compliance.
congratulations.
You're far better suited for this position than I am. Your professional competence was never the issue.
You just misplaced your trust in the wrong people.
I've never actually been up here before.
The first time I came up was the day you transferred me to the archives.
There's something I've always wanted to ask you.
Did you calculate every single step? Right from the very beginning?
No, I only calculated 1 step. The rest of it, I was just backed into a corner.
I was caught between Shanghang and Hanfeng. pulled in both directions.
And all that pressure only taught me how to cover up the problems.
But you, when you were pushed to the limit, all you did was solve them.
Lu Zheng, you really are impressive.
You have my respect now.
I'll do my job as strategic consultant, and I'll do it well, but not for you.
I'm doing it for Rifan.
You're not so bad yourself. A new order has been established.
And Rufan's future
We'll set sail once again, built upon the rules.